Okay, call the meeting order. It is 5:37. Apologize for the technical delay. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for coming. Erin, thanks for coming. Review the library exits out that way. So got that way down the stairs so we can all be safe. Comments or questions from anyone from the public? There's Rebecca, I'm trying to get in. There's no other public here.
Erin is the public.
Erin is the public, and Mary is public as well. So welcome. Rebecca, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
All right. Any questions from the public on the agenda or anything? Mary, are you good?
I'm good.
Okay. Approval of the minutes from July 10th. Did everyone get a chance to look at the minutes from July 10th? Any comments or questions or notations that need to be mentioned? Not, I would.
I motion to approve the minutes.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay. Those two motions. Any more further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The motion passes. Minutes are approved. Additions are deleted from the posted agenda. I'm going to propose one change to the agenda. When we get to the discussion, I'm going to move item number 14, which is the update on library director search, to number 15 and move 15 to 14. And then when we get to the library search, I'm going to call an executive session to discuss the library search as well as the retirement celebration planning. We'll do that in executive session. So Mary, Erin will be back out at that point. We will discuss that.
Because we're talking all about bubbles and
Right.
glitter.
So that will be an executive session. I meant to note that on the agenda, but we'll do that to make sure we can have an open discussion on the library search. So welcome for me, welcome. Appreciate everyone here. It's an exciting, a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot going on with new staff and activities over the summer and getting ready for school and everything. So there's a lot to do and I appreciate everyone's involvement. I especially want to call attention to Holly and Ann. They were very much involved in the first wave of interviews for the library director. It was 2 days of, long days. Lots of discussion that, and we'll get more to that. But again, I want to publicly thank you and Ann for your participation in that. So thank you. And Stacy, you were part of that, involved with that as well, the preparation for it. But Holly was on your place on the board on the thing, so it worked out really well for everyone. So
Teamwork makes the dream work.
I need your face.
Sorry? Oh. Sounds like creepy.
All right. To move on now, it is 5:40. Erin, we would like to welcome Erin, our new children's librarian. Welcome to the board. I think obviously the first thing you do is go around the table and have the board members introduce themselves, and then we'll go to you. So,
Marty Reed, new member of the board.
Erin, I'm Donna Swarta, and I'm the secretary for the board, and I've been on for about 6 years now.
Hi, I'm Margie. I am the chair of the Governance and Nomination Committee, and I've been on the board, what's this, 6 years?
Oh, well, she used to also be a sub.
Right.
And we worked with her at the high school.
That's right.
Just saying.
Deep roots.
lots of hats, lots of hats.
Brent will be new to the board as treasurer. I really like books and I really like money.
Who doesn't?
Mary Jones, and I'm president of Friends.
Jennifer Marie, I'm the library director. Yeah, thanks.
Holly Painter, I'm the chair of the communications committee.
Stacey Pape, I'm chair emerita now because Ted has graciously taken over. And I think this is my 9th year, either my 9th or my 10th. So.
Governance chair, 6 years. I think Don and I started at the same time. So
Actually, I'm also new to the board, and I am a grateful mother of 2-year-olds.
So Erin, welcome again. I was yesterday at the library staff meeting. We talked a little bit about the board what it is, and I've had a conversation with you, so I think you understand what our role is from a governance perspective. Obviously, if you have any questions about that, the board is here to try and answer those questions. Sorry, thank you. Rebecca, if you want to introduce yourself, you can unmute and introduce yourself.
Sure. Hi, Erin. Welcome. My name is Rebecca Ozzie, and I'm on the Communications Committee, and I've been on the board. This is my 4th year. Welcome.
Rebecca, Stacy will be over my shoulder looking at you to make sure if you're waving or anything, try and see that. So keep waving, and Stacy will, as chair emeritus, she knows how this is. She will be looking at this. So Erin, I will turn over to you. Introduce yourself or
Sure
questions and go
thing.
from there.
Sure. So my name is Erin Davidson. I am not unfamiliar with the Burlington area. I grew up in St. Albans and graduated from BFA St. Albans. And spent the first about 17 years of my life being like, can't we get out of this state? And then I joked about how like I spent more than 17 years trying to get back in because I missed it so much. But I spent the majority of the rest of my adult life from about 17 until about 4 years ago. I was in Michigan primarily, West Michigan. In particular, I also spent some time in Chicago and New York. I was a theater major and had big dreams, and spent one year in New York City with a Broadway house and went, no, thank you. I'm set. I'm gonna not do that job. My path to librarianship was certainly not a done deal. My mother was my elementary school librarian at the St. Albans City School, and did not want to be like mom when I grew up. Ended up exactly like my mother, as these things go. When I left New York, I wanted to change direction. I had some opportunities. I was a costumer primarily, so I sewed costumes. And the college that I went to wanted me back, and I said, no, there's a page position open at my local library, and I'm just gonna apply because putting books on shelves and checking them in sounds fun. And I loved it, but it became very quick that I was like, oh no, these are my people. Like I found my people. So it didn't, I worked my way up. I started as a page. I worked in the circulation department for about 10 years. So I have a mad respect for the people on that desk because it is not an easy job. I ended my career in circulation being the head of our overdues department back before everyone went fine free. So that was also like a very big learning opportunity for me on how to deal with the public and work on de-escalation techniques. The library I served about 100,000 people. So it was a pretty big district library. We had a branch. But this is my first experience with the municipal library, not worked for a city library before. After that first 10 years, an opportunity opened in our youth services department. We served birth through 18. And I spent a year with teenagers, and I had a really good time. I want to be very clear. I had a really good time. I was given a lot of free rein to be clear, most of our teens were 6th grade and up. So we had 6th through 9th grade was really our big teen area. And we allowed our 6th graders to spend time in a teen room. Nobody else was allowed. If you were under 6th grade, you were not even allowed in you could not go over there. You were definitely moved along. So I had a great time with them. I sort of started honing my philosophy on youth services, which was that I was really into listening to what they wanted. I had a bunch of kids come to me and say, we really want a Doctor Who club. And I was like, I don't know anything about Doctor Who. Like, what does that mean? And they're like, I don't know, can we get together and talk about Doctor Who? And I was like, I think we can. And once a month I had anywhere between 15 and 30 kids show up. No, teenage 6th through 9th graders who were just all about it. I had my moment. I had kids who came in who were really into creating their own cardboard armor, and so they hosted a 2-hour make your own sonic screwdriver, for those of you who know anything about, out of cardboard, and we had little lights, and we did that for 2 hours one afternoon. the moment that I was like, this is just a very bizarre, like, I don't even know. I had 3 kids ask if they could give a power presentation on the history and the evolution of the monsters of Doctor Who, and they showed up dressed up. Like, they were dressed up and gave a presentation. It was their idea. Like, I was like, sure, I mean, if you want to. I'm very big into, sure, if we can make that happen, we'll do it. And that was really, really a gratifying role, was to be with them. But I was not loving it the way that I thought that I would. And I kind of missed circulation. And I was on my way out the door, and not fully. I was thinking, like, it might be time for a change again. I've been at this library for 11 years. It might be time for me to move on. And I say this, but my manager at the time, she changed my life. She walked around the corner and she said, I'm gonna need somebody to do baby story time. And I was like, no. Like, I don't like babies, I don't have babies, like, no, I don't, you know me well enough to know that that's not for me. She's like, oh, I think you're gonna be really good at it, and you're doing it, like, I'm the boss. You're gonna do this. And I was like, oh, all right, I guess so. And it changed my life. I became really, really invested in how the responsibility of public libraries to help caregivers learn how to talk and read and sing and play with their babies, toddlers and preschoolers. It became a mission for me in a way that I felt so gratified in the work that I was doing. I spent a lot of time on outreach. I did a lot of work at I presented at our early childhood conferences to early childhood educators on how we can help engage them and help them engage their caregivers. I remember being like, you know, the crazy thing about the library is that all we have to do is make them want to read. And if they want to read, then they will read. And if they will read, then they'll get at life, and then it's done. And then we don't have to do anything anymore. And they're like, if we could just get them started at birth, it would change the world. Like, we could change the world. So I went real hard into it, and truly still believe that we can change the world if every single caregiver had the capacity and the tools and knew what it was that was happening in their baby's brains, that will set them on the path to eventual reading success. I was at that library for 20 years. And I just had so many wonderful opportunities. I had a lot of opportunities to listen to what kids wanted to do, and then we tried to make it happen as much as possible. Big on big events. We hosted our very first New Year's Eve party. I don't know if any of you, if you have a New Year's Eve party in South Burlington, you might.
We should.
They're awesome.
We do have one. No, Montshire does one.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, the
Montshire.
Montshire was my neighbor, and we did one the same year they did their first one, and I was like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? Anyway, we started our very first one, we had something like 400 people show up, and we were like, oh, okay, we can't do this in the library, so we partnered with our city department. We ended up being able to do the city facility.
So I don't know what that means.
You count down to noon on New Year's Eve day, so that little kids can
Can feel-
celebrate. So you have like an actual countdown, and usually there's a balloon drop. We often would make like noise makers, and we'd make like crowns, and like, what's your wish for a new year? We don't do that yet. What's your wish to do for the new year, for the new year? And it's all done in an hour. So like, it's like, and then get out, like, you're done. So we introduced that and worked with our city our first year we did it with our city, and it was on a Saturday, because we did it on the day. We had over 800 people come, and we were like, whoa, that was, oh my, like, oh. And that was truly just our youth services department getting up and reading. We would read Elephant and Piggy stories and act them out. We'd do songs and dances and counting songs, because we do countdowns. We get teen volunteers to get up with their numbers to hold up so we could do a countdown, and we'd all mess it up, and it was great. And then COVID hit, and I recognized how far away I was from my family, my parents in particular. And I have a sister and brother-in-law and a niece who live in Connecticut. And I came back as soon as I could on a plane to visit my parents. And I was like, I think I'm just gonna see if I can move to Vermont. And I started looking. I actually applied, as I was just telling Jennifer today, I think that I had actually applied at the South Burlington Library back in 2021. When I was first looking, there was an assistant position open, and I had applied for a job in St. Albans at the library. No one had a full-time job, and I was like, wow, maybe I could do 2 part-time jobs at 2 different libraries. That sounded like a nightmare to me. Now in my brain, I'm like, oh, so many policy differences, and like, but at the time, it seemed like a reasonable thing for me to do. And then my husband actually found a job posting for the Norwich Public Library, and I'd never heard of Norwich. I'm a Champlain Valley girl. Like, I was born and raised, Burlington was like the second home. I was in the Vermont Youth Orchestra, so like I was in Burlington every single week during high school. So I didn't know, I'd never heard of the Upper Valley, but it read like exactly the kind of job that I was hoping to get. It was in a much smaller community. I was not sure how I would do with that, but I kind of just went for it and ended up getting an offer. And again, my life just changed dramatically. I spent the last 4 years having the opportunity to build a program with an incredible community of caregivers and kids, and a town that loved their library, and it was well used. And they were incredibly receptive and kind to sort of this, like, what do you guys want? Like my whole like, but what do kids want to do? Not what do I want to do? It was, what do you want to do? And how is that relatable to what we do as a library? And how can we make that happen? If this is a place that you value and you want to be, that's all I'm really looking for. For me, literacy is beyond a book. It is books, but it's also music, and it's digital, and it's movies, and it's so many things literacy is, and being able to be a part of kids falling in love with libraries. I realized that was the next thing, going from like getting those baby brains and getting those caregivers really excited, going to like, okay, now how do we keep it up? Like, how do we build the program so that we have that next group of ages, and then you want to build it to your teens, and then you want to, keeping that age that we often lose, which is the minute we get driver's licenses, we disappear, and then if we're lucky, we get you back when you have kids. But like that gap can sometimes be, is one that I've now grown really passionate about, growing programs through ages. So when this position opened, I was like, well, I don't know, I love Norwich now, and it's a really wealthy community, and I was really happy there. But as I started thinking more about it, it seemed like such a great time. I did not realize we were going to be in the middle of a director search at the time, but it seemed like a really great opportunity to take what I had learned in my 20 years working on a team with 100,000 people, to then going down to 3,000 people, 3,500 people, and then having the opportunity to come to 20,000 people, a mid-sized library in a vibrant community that has this incredible building in a space that is trying to become the city center. And I was just going through the budget report from last year, and it said that the library was the heartbeat of this area right now. And I was like, that's where I want to be. I want to be one of the people keeping that heartbeat going. So it just really feels like an incredible opportunity. And I'm so grateful to be here. I'm excited. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little overwhelmed. I had an odd onboarding in that they were gracious enough to allow me to do 2 days here on Mondays and Fridays, and then I spent 3 days a week over the summer at Norwich so that I could help them complete their summer reading program and not leave them without somebody. So that was I was like, what the heck? Like, I didn't realize it was quite so far. Like that. Got really used to 89, very used to driving 89 now, the whole way.
This was the summer.
Yes. That's very true. But it's been a week and a half, now, just about a week and a half since I've started full-time, and every day, I keep saying like, this is an incredibly humbling experience for me, and it's also like an incredibly exciting time. For me personally, I feel like for the organization, I think for the city, it feels like a really exciting time. And I am not someone who fears change. I'm not someone who shies away from change. So I kind of embrace it and am really, really optimistic about and just so thrilled to be a part of it. So that's me in a, I don't know, 20 minutes.
And I will say, I got to spend time with Erin on her second day here at one of the Art in the Park things. And she just started off with a bang. All the kids were so excited to talk to her. It was just amazing. And the energy, I was exhausted by the time we left, but it was really good to feel the energy. So we're excited that you're
Yeah,
here.
thank
Yeah,
you.
you clearly demonstrate the energy. The passion
Yeah.
for what you're doing, so at the end of the day, I guess I'm very impressed you have that much energy level, so.
Yeah, I can see why I'm tired.
Yeah.
You're gonna be awesome.
It kind of goes with the children's library too. I feel, and not all of us are this way. That's true. There are some of us who are much more like reserved and calm, and that is a great, wonderful library. That's not what you got. That's not.
So obviously over the next several weeks, as you absorb, see what you want, we are a resource for you, obviously to bounce ideas off of. Anything I appreciate the fact that change is not a bad word in your lexicon, so whatever, as you see it, obviously working with Jennifer or the future library director is, we want to make this the heartbeat and vibrant part of the community. So you're bringing the energy to it. So I've been pleased. Our conversations have been great, and look forward to working with you. So I'll open it up to the board. Any questions for Erin or comments?
I'm gonna mention, because she didn't, that Marty is a public library, was a public
I just
library.
told her, I first
Oh, okay.
was children's library.
Oh, okay, and the state library. And, yes, so we've got tons of resources in the room and very focused resource in Marty.
Oh, that's great.
Any other questions?
I always feel like it's like.
I know, it's like a queen, right?
Yeah. Any questions for us or anything?
You know, I don't yet, but I know that I will. Again, this is my first experience in a municipal library. I've also, it's my first experience where the board is active in things like outreach, and I think that's really great and such a wonderful thing. When I was told that like, oh, you're gonna be there with the board president, and I was like, oh, okay, that's just not, it's not, I'm delighted that there's that much excitement and commitment that you're able to do that, so I'm sure I will.
It is unusual.
I was wondering if you'd like to come to one of our communications committee meetings.
Absolutely, yeah.
So we can
Please.
all
I'm
talk about.
gonna get Mira and Erin both to
Right.
a meeting.
Great.
So they know what you're doing and what they're doing.
We do Thursdays, next Thursday. Thursday that comes after these, what's the third?
Third
The
Thursday.
third Thursday.
Third Thursday.
Third
Third
Thursday.
And I'm curious what you want to do first.
Oh, Lord.
In a teeny tiny mug,
It has changed since I got here. No, you know, right now I'm really looking at the space and the usability. That's all we're looking at right now. I haven't had the opportunity to talk with the staff as much as I'd like to yet. And I'm really excited. We've had one staff meeting, but it was like not the real first staff meeting. And I'm really excited to get their take on things. I want to hear like where things are and why they are. So for me, I think we have done the wiggle room and like the attention to that under 5 crowd, which is like, again, my jam, I am delighted with, but I can see how it trends a little young, and trying to make the space a little more equitable for our kids who are in that 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade. I know everyone says you don't get 8th graders, and I'm like, but we could, like, we should try, and I think we will, and I think you actually probably do have 8th graders who are coming, they might be going between. So that space is part of it, and I'm really excited to also work with Amanda some on getting that crossover relationship between the children's department with our middle school, who might be a little more hesitant to hang out in a space that is so young, but might not be ready to be up here too. So the space is definitely a priority right now. Not that it's not beautiful, because it is. It's gorgeous. I just want to make sure that that the vibe isn't totally like all littles, that it feels welcoming to those older kids as well. So that's the first. That might take some time. It's gonna take us a while to start there, but that's the idea.
And I'm up for chair racing in the hall anytime, so.
Oh, gosh, you're the chair racing. I was like,
You
when
put it in your report.
I didn't know you were gonna include that. Well, I asked the 7th and 8th graders who were hanging out. I was like, so guys, let's just say theoretically that I could be in charge of like helping the students. What would you want? The first thing they said was rolling chairs, and the first thing I thought was, and we could race the levels on the rolling chairs, and that would be so much fun. And then I went, you are the performer. No, like, and I went, no, we can't have more rolling chairs, guys. That sounds like a nightmare. Like, I understand why you want them. They're just so fun. And I was like, I know. I didn't know this. I'm glad you did.
I did, because I wanted, you know,
That's
I wanted them to have a flavor of what we had going on. As part of the problem with the young adult space is that there aren't rolling chairs. And I know, I mean, I believe that to be true in hindsight, but I just was unwilling to do it with all those.
Well, the steps.
The steps and the ramp.
And if you keep them, I mean, I do watch them use like they use them. They are genuinely using those as like they're all around the tablet of some kind, and they're watching some silly YouTube video or something, and they they're moving in their seats. They're not racing. They're not doing.
We have 3 or 4 of those if you move that.
Oh, I'll keep that in mind. We'll see if they're responsible.
Say how much I'm trying.
We're gonna see.
Pilot program.
Pilot program, yeah. I'm all about the pilot program. I was like, just because we're trying it doesn't mean we're gonna do it. We're gonna try it, so.
Great. All right. Thank you very much.
Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. I'm actually gonna head out if that's okay.
Yeah.
I appreciate that staff is welcome to come to meetings, and I will probably take you up on that more, just because I'm a library nerd and I really love the whole process. And I've not again been in a location where going to a board meeting is something that was encouraged. So I would love to know more about what you guys do. So
Thank you, Erin.
thank you for having me, and have a lovely weekend, everybody.
You too.
You too.
All right. Next on the agenda is Friends of the Library. All right.
Hey, I gotta top that.
You can't, it's okay.
Well, good news, in the month of July, we made $958.78, and our goal is $500, so yeah, we really did well. Our July 26th audiobook sale, we made $83.
Oh, no.
Which doesn't sound as impressive as saying we sold 166 books on CD. But
That's pretty good.
yeah, it's a start. Yeah, so we've set up a table, as you've probably seen by the audiobooks, bookcases there. And I would say sales have been sluggish, but we're gonna give it a whirl and keep it there, and we'll also feature them at our big book sale coming up. So after that, we'll make a art project. Of course, our big focus now will be the book sale coming up in September, the 11th through the 13th. We're in the process of sorting and organizing and that kind of thing there, and we'll be having the boxes ready to go. So when we set up, a lot of the work has already been done. We do alphabetize them that morning, but it's just everybody running around putting them in the right spot, so that seems to work. We start setting up on Wednesday, September the 10th, and Thursday, September the 11th in the morning from 10 to 2. So I did include the Sign Up Genius sign up, so if anybody wants to help out, you just, it's a direct link, you can click it and help, and even if you just show up, man.
And I know you've been kind of short a little bit on staff.
Yes,
to do
our
that, so.
staffing is, well, we've had multiple people facing health challenges, so that's kind of cut into our usual crew. But so all help will be appreciated.
Okay.
So Mary-
My Bob that I do that.
Mary, when I retired as librarian, the one thing I said, I'm never gonna do a book sale again in my life. But I think I might step in.
We'll see if we can make it a little kinder, gentler for you.
Mary, I can't come for much of the help or the setup, but I do wanna come for some of it. When's the best time?
Well, as I told Stacy, I'll try and send out a little blip
Okay.
closer to, because we've got people kind of signing up at the perfect. And so if we have a weak spot, then, you know, it's slightly, I know you have a 2-year-old, so that makes it a little challenging. At this point, we just are trying to fill in the numbers for getting set up. We usually manage to find cashiers and things like that, but there is, on September the 11th and 9th, 5 to 7, so I don't know if you have a
I
backup.
can be
person.
flexible, so.
Okay.
Support work.
Is that for members?
Yeah, that's
Yes,
for members only.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that everyone in the room is a member.
Well, I hope so too. If not, you can join
You're
them.
encouraged to be.
So we've
jumped in.
I've got some flyers for people,
So,
so if you would take one and post it,
join.
if you have an appropriate spot where you work or visit, or, that would be wonderful.
And to Stacy's credit, she did a strong pitch for that in the last board.
Okay,
So-
good, I didn't realize.
I did
I
try.
did miss the last one, yes, you did.
Sorry.
And we're also gonna have, a silent auction for the firehouse, the miniature firehouse here. I had firefighter Michelle come and she took some pictures with it, and so we're gonna do a little feature on the other paper and put that out, so hopefully we'll get some interest in that. We didn't want to just put it in a regular raffle, we wanted people that appreciated it to get it, so. Anyway, so that's where we are, that's where our focus is, and you can always shoot me an email if you have any questions, but I'll try and get a little blip out to everybody to let you know how we're doing on the staffing. That would be most helpful.
Yeah, please, whatever we can do to help. We're
I
more than willing
appreciate
to do.
that very much, we do.
All right, any other questions for me? Okay,
So this is a good time for me to check out? then?
you're more than welcome to stay or whatever you'd like to do.
Look at her run.
Yeah, you and I were here yesterday too, so I understand, so,
She's gonna be baking bread with kids, I can tell.
all right, thank you.
Thank you very much. But thank you very much. Well, after I look through this, I'll get you. Now that you're gonna be retired.
Oh, right.
All right, next on the agenda is the committee selection. Our request is that every member of the board is on at least one committee. So if you looked at the webpage, we have 3 committees. We have the finance committee, the comm squad, comm committee, whatever, wherever comm squad's good, and the governance and nominating committee. So from a finance, Brenda's taken over as treasurer. I will remain on finance. Donna's been on finance. So those are the 3 current members of the finance. Anyone would like to be a part of the finance committee? Anyone else? 3 seems to work okay. So I think it's well in hand with that. So comms, what do you have currently have?
Comms, we've got Rebecca and Whitney, and then are you official?
I'm official.
Okay. So we have 4 now.
Okay. Anyone else like to join the communication committee? Okay, and then in governance and nominating committee.
So we have
Mhm.
Donna, Anne, and Morgan has agreed to volunteer, which
Okay.
is super exciting,
All right.
and Stacy.
Alright.
Yeah. Okay.
I will be special guest.
You'll be special guest.
Squad.
Just for how you feel you have enough support
I
for
think
your
we're
account.
fine. Yeah.
Marjorie, you're good with your
Yeah.
team?
Yeah.
And I think we're good with finance. Everyone's gotten one, so let's stick with that. Obviously, if anyone wants to gauge in the other committees, feel free to do that. One thing I've done is on the library webpage, you can sign up to get agendas sent to you, and you can subscribe to those agendas. So I would encourage you to maybe subscribe to all 3 committees' agendas, so you at least get an email that those committees are there. You can decide to participate and just engage if you have time to hear what's going on in those committees. I'm sure they always would love additional people listening in. But that's a good way to keep abreast as to when things are happening on each one of
On
those
the
committees.
city website, not the library website,
It's a
right?
city the city website where you can sign up for.
Got it,
any of that.
sorry.
You can go there and subscribe to any committee's agenda. So
For
if they-
anything for the city.
yeah,
I've
so,
never done that, okay.
yeah, so I would encourage doing that. I was actually gonna talk about that. If we all could sign up for the library board, I don't have to send the additional email out saying, here's the thing. So if we
you
could
send us
all,
the link to do
I will send the link.
Ted, can you confirm that finance committee is here in the agenda center, or is it possible that it's not? Been seeing communication.
It hasn't met
Okay.
enough since we gone to the new live system. So I will make sure that we get something out there so people can subscribe to that. Yeah, but that is a nice, and again, for anything the city does, if you wanted to hear any of the other ones that are going on, feel free to sign up to that. And I think the link will show you that. Okay. Thank you all for choosing the committee. Financial review year end. Did you get any numbers?
It isn't ready.
It isn't ready. Okay.
So in September, we'll do the year-end finances, statistics.
Okay. So we'll delay that to
That-
September. That
that's
is
September.
fine. Director's report. Jennifer.
So hopefully you all did get a chance to see it. And I'll tell you, I have a friend who, I guess had a difficult retirement. And so she's been advising. And I thought I needed some advice, and it turned out I really didn't. And one of the things that because she kept saying, you are not in charge anymore. You have got to let it go. Just sit back and put your feet up, and you should not be, you're getting, you're da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, really? Really? 2 months? I have 2 months. Come on, I got things to do. But anyway, I say all that because one of the things, because it came to my mind when Erin was talking, and I'm like, I still have some good work to do. Erin is a big good work. I am patting myself on the shoulder because, oh my gosh, what a great addition. And I have a lot of other things that I'm still working on, but I did send you most of what I'm working on. The Sunday stuff is exciting. The city council still has to vote on the contract before we can move ahead, but
Say all the words though, Sunday hours. you said.
Sunday hours. Yeah, the Sunday hour, all the words. Sunday hours.
I wrote all the words.
Oh,
You did? Okay.
I'm
I
glad
just
you knew
didn't-
what my words were.
I just didn't know if everybody knew what all the words were.
So I guess the background, this is,
Yeah.
as part of the budget approval last year, it was, one of the sale point was to say they're not opening on Sundays. And now with the union and everything, so it's an issue we're gonna have to work through. Figure out how to do that, but that's a commitment from the city. and-
Well, we pretty much, I have a draft.
That's right.
Yep, and so the department heads are taking a look at it, and then once I get it, once we plug in the 19-hour position that has not yet been advertised, and then I have a sub position, those are the 2 positions that I got in this budget year for this purpose. So, then we'll plug those in, and then I'll show it to the union. Because the union agreement is that, that hasn't been voted on yet, is that the director will meet quarterly with, at least 4 times a year, to review the schedule with the union rep. Which really, I can't imagine that they're gonna need to meet 4 times a year, but anytime we add a new staff person and their schedule is X, then it kind of changes the balls a little bit. So I guess that's when we'll meet, but, so I'm really excited about that and that happening.
When's the city council vote?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
It is not, I don't think it's next
Let's see.
Monday, I think it's the following
I
one.
think it gets into Labor Day, so I think that's the Tuesday.
Yeah.
Is there a start date that is part of that agreement?
No, it's just, they've gotta say yes before we can even talk about it. Yeah, so, once we've got Sunday going, we're fully staffed right now, except for these additional jobs, so one thing I would ask everyone to do is if you know of an energetic somebody who would like to work after school with kids that are primarily 5th through 7th, but also 4th, also 8th, we have a job for them. It'll work 3 hours on Sunday, and then it'll work 3 to 7, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So, that's a hard job to find. I mean, a hard job to fill with the right person. So if you know anyone, it's on the city website.
What qualifications do you want that person to have?
I don't remember exactly. I know it's high school graduation, and maybe 1 year of customer service.
So they don't need to have a library background, they just need to
Yeah.
excited about working with kids.
Yeah, that's it. There might also be a preferred having worked with kids. I mean, I suspect that that's the other piece. So then, we'll have one other position, one other 19-hour position, and that one, I believe is gonna be working under Mira in the Adult Services Department. And they will be the one, if it happens in time, which it might not, that's going to assist the director with the schedule, and then I can get them going on that, so that when the new director starts, this scheduling system that we have is not, they don't have to just learn it from scratch, because someone will be there to help them, but I don't know if the timing is gonna work on that. And then I'll hire a sub, which I need to advertise. So all of that is all good stuff that I was hoping to get done. Then the annual reports will be due, so if we can get your annual report and my annual report done by the end of September, that would be great. And Jesse asked me today for a draft budget by the end of September.
Okay.
So I said, yep, Ted and I had already talked about it, but it's.
So right now, I'll get with you, and we'll get some calendar times, and we'll start putting some, it's a couple meetings, and we should be able to punch it out.
Yeah, and there's some things that we had talked about putting this year that it's not that I'd forgotten them exactly, but we had such a focus on keeping this budget down that we just didn't explore the things that we had said we might do. So those will get back on the list, and we'll see what happens. And
We wanted to lay low for a year, kind of.
Yeah.
We had asked for so much, we didn't.
Right,
We didn't want to draw too
exactly.
much more attention.
Yeah.
Until now's the time probably to at least make sure everyone knows we're still there.
We are closed on Saturday for carpet cleaning. It's just a surprise. That was, they only gave us 2 weeks notice, and I am grateful that they're doing it, so I'm happy. These are the flyers for upcoming events, and I'm gonna pass them around. And if you see something that you think would be good in a place where you go, please put them up. I did mention this flyer that was, that somebody marked up with. So I will pass it around so you can see it.
Where was the flyer hanging?
Well, this is the problem. We have no idea who wrote what they wrote, and nor do we know exactly where it was. Mira has figured out that it's an old flyer, right? So it was starting 2025 February. So we don't know where it was until somebody found it and brought it to us. And so we just don't know much information about it.
And they didn't say where they found it?
It was all very vague.
Can we show what it says so that
Sure. Oh, yeah, I have to.
I'll have to look at it one at a time?
No, well, yeah. So this is a flyer for the English Conversation Circle, and it says this is when it meets, and somebody has written in their very neat handwriting, or you can self-deport. So, And I bring it just because you guys need to know that things like that come up. Since we don't know who it was, there's no way for us to talk to
Is
them
that
about it.
ongoing, that conversation circle now? or
Well,
not?
well, it isn't anymore, because it just wasn't worth the time for the people that were coming. And so we are not doing it right now. But
I guess if we do plan to resume it, I think we probably need to have maybe a discussion to make sure that we feel comfortable if that group wanted to get together.
yeah, we can certainly have that
Just a
conversation.
thought, just from a.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, there's, it's like anything else we do, we can't anticipate every single thing that could happen in a way to keep people as safe as we'd like them to be, but we definitely want staff to feel that they can respond and how to do so.
Would be standard procedure if you knew who had done that? Initial conversation.
Yeah, it would be a conversation that this was unacceptable, that it goes against our code of conduct, because it's a disruption to library use by the public and or the staff, and that it can't happen again. And there might also be a discussion like, why would you write this? But I think a lot of it is gonna be setting boundaries around it.
Do you feel we have any gaps in a policy or anything that we need to work on to help you to navigate that in any way, or do you feel?
You know me, I'm not let's add on layers of policy, so I think that the code of conduct covers it.
My instinct feels that. I just
Yeah.
want to make sure that
Yeah.
this is coming to our attention. There isn't a gap that
Yeah.
we need to make
Yeah.
sure is seen.
You know, I think it's
People
gonna be,
that may come up again.
yes, absolutely. Whether it's in print or whether it's verbal. Yeah, and we've had odd verbal situations. A few years ago, I remember somebody was talking to one of our employees about the Jews. And at that time, I don't know that I think it was really when we first opened. And I don't think we had everything in place yet to be a big library where we're really talking to people about that. So I think that we have learned a lot since then.
Yeah, and I guess one thing I want to make sure we're promoting us as this heartbeat and the vibrancy of it, that I don't want anyone to feel uncomfortable to come here. And that's, we just got to monitor. It's great that you brought it to our attention, and we'll just keep a pulse on it.
I think that governance and the board it'll be very interesting with the new person to see how they want to do policies. Do we have anything in there that is specific to hate speech? We don't.
But given what we have, you feel
I think we have enough to work with to talk to somebody at this stage.
if it came to it.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Do you feel like there's a one-off thing? Or do you feel like there's a rising vibe?
I think that I don't think that we have a rising vibe, but I don't think it's a one-off. I think that it's human beings who are judgmental or afraid or angry, or that happens. And sometimes it's it's more microaggression, I guess. I had someone today who was unhappy that I was asking them to speak more quietly on their speakerphone. And so they said, well, there were 2 Black women the other day, just earlier, and they were talking so loudly, I could hear the walls vibrate in the bathroom. And it's like, okay. I said, okay, well, but right now I'm talking about you. So, they didn't have to mention they were Black, but that's you know, what comes up and it's just reality, so. But I don't feel that it's something that's mounting, thank goodness. And then just for fun, even though the statistics are not ready, I was collecting some in case we were gonna be able to do that today. And one is, you all know, some of you know, that this summer was the first time that we really collaborated with Rec, and we went to some of their events. And so I was able to get some preliminary numbers. So we went to 3 Rec on the Go events, which are held in parks at different places around town. Rec doesn't advertise them because they really want people from that neighborhood to go, but somehow people must find out because I don't think that it's exclusive to their neighborhoods. But anyway, we went to 3 of them and we averaged about, I would say, 52 people at each one that talked to us, maybe entered the raffle, maybe signed up for summer reading. And I think that the staff, even though they haven't all met much yet, I think that they feel really happy about this as a big success. The other thing was, there was some uncertainty, which didn't belong, that I wasn't going to renew the Libby magazine subscription. So Libby is the audiobook and ebook service, and last year the Friends of the Library paid for the first year to see how people liked it. And so Mike sent me with a lot of bowls in it. Yeah, there are 3,315 magazines were checked out at least once, and there was a total of 78,000 plus checkouts on that resource.
Crazy.
Whoa.
That's
Which is,
impressive.
now, you know, a checkout, maybe you open it up, you look for an article and you realize it's, yeah, you don't wanna read it. But nevertheless,
Pretty good traffic.
Oh, I think that's.
what a great success that is. I'm really so happy because he's also gonna be looking at consumer reports for me because I'm not sure that I'm not sure that we can afford to keep it.
Will you ask him about Wirecutter, which is in the New York Times? I don't know if that's something that you can,
Wirecutters, yeah, every day I check Wirecutter just because I'm around.
so I don't know if you can subscribe to that separately, but that seems to be the thing
That is
to
the
go
place
to,
to go.
that is the
Yeah.
place to
The
go
Consumer
now.
Reports is for the,
Yeah, well, we don't subscribe to the New York Times, we don't, do we? We.
No, you're right.
No, we,
You're the
say
we. You're the we still get the Sunday Times, but the New York Times, the paper New York Times is not available in Vermont for the
Right.
you can only get
weekdays.
Sunday delivery.
And I don't think they do digital for.
There is some workaround that is currently in discussion that some libraries do, where you have to create a new login every day so that you can read it that day.
And new library cards will not be
And-
Because my dad did it for 2 days and then it's like, I can't do this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it could just be an out there, I was just thinking in my house, that's the thing to go. So my adult children use Wirecutter all the
But I
time,
don't think it's a separate.
but I don't know if
Yeah,
it's
I
a
think so.
separate.
Is it on Libby?
Okay.
Is that what you're saying?
I
It
don't think
is, so it is a separate thing.
Okay.
An individual can purchase access to Wirecutter. I'm trying to find out if
Really?
libraries can also purchase, this is many libraries partner with New York Times to offer free access to Wirecutter.
Can we get any demographic data from Libby? I'm just like looking at certain age groups and what they're checking out, or who that, all those magazine opens, like who actually was using that? Or is it
We
just-
don't keep, we don't ask for demographic, except for, we now ask for birthday, because we wanted to see age, because at one point, that we were told we were still, we were a graying population, and which doesn't turn out to be quite as strong as it was, maybe because of all these apartments.
Does that connect to Libby usage at all? Like, would you be able to see age?
If we have their birth date information, it's possible we could compare it, I don't know.
I can find out.
And we can see activity on some of the other services like Canopy and.
We can see activity. We probably have to break into them to find out the library cards and then compare the library cards to our database, and I'm not sure that that's.
Juice might not be worth the squeeze, but if it's an easier filter, it
Yeah,
would be
yeah.
interesting to see how it others.
Yeah, I think that would be a privacy thing if we tried to break in.
I think age could be a good just starting point.
Well, not if, I mean, it depends who's breaking in.
I just love that you're using the word break in, so.
So that's all I got. Do you have any questions from the report or anything else that's on your mind?
Well, I'll say, Jennifer, you have one more library director report to give before your retirement.
That's true.
So
glad
make
we're
it a
getting-
real, make it a
It's
really
gonna be-
good one.
It's gonna be so boring
Make-
because we're gonna be looking through numbers and no, it won't be boring. It's
Just
all
make-
gonna be that.
Make it a
history stuff.
memorable one, Jennifer, that's all I'm gonna say.
All
Make it a
that,
memorable
maybe
one.
some colors or fonts, maybe
Yeah.
just. You want me to sparkle
Music,
it up for you?
Yeah.
Like
Fill us-
Glitter.
yeah. Whatever,
We open up the
whatever
document.
flair you wanna put on it, go for
I'm making note, this is your second to last.
it. Yeah, it's penultimate one.
Yeah, it's weird.
Okay, anything else for Jennifer? Okay. Thank you, Jennifer. Update from the library staff, so I've, for the next couple of months, I'm gonna attend the library staff meeting. If the library staff would like to do that, just to be a sounding board as the board talking to the library. I didn't stay for the whole staff meeting. I stayed for their presentations. I think for me right now, it's for them to get to know me as the chair. Second is just to make sure there's that direct connection between that. I'm not sure that'll go. It may be one of those things where they know they can invite a board member, just like we invite a staff member to the board. But I think that's something, if you're interested in doing that, I can talk, we can work with the staff to see if there's someone and we can vary it up a little bit. I will probably do it for another month or two just to introduce myself and represent the board at their staff meeting. Mary was there as well, represent the Friends. So that was good. So the things they talked about were their online services, Canopy, and the new one, what's the?
Palace.
Palace. It's very similar to Libby in some ways. There's some, I don't think it was as user-friendly and as widespread as Libby, but it is another service that's out there. So Rory went through how to log in and give access, so he educated the staff and myself about it. So it's something out there. If you want to look at that, feel free to do that. And Canopy, familiar with it, there's like tickets to buy certain things. We've upped the tickets, I think, from 6 to 10 over the past little bit. Something that there's a lot out there. We could always do that again if we thought there was a lot of interest. So we're just trying to gauge and make those things more public. So that's something the library staff is talking about.
Well, and also that there are 3 categories of movies that you don't have to use your tickets for, that you can watch
Right.
as
So
many
there's a
as
lot
you
of free
want.
stuff and free seasons of stuff. And then the only hook I think a little bit was if you do one season, the next season's pay. So they kind of do some things to hook you in and then say the next season is, yeah, they charge you tickets. So there's a little both, but again, those are resources there. And as we go through the budget, it's probably one of those things we want to look at to make sure that we're getting the value for it. But again, staff, they seem very, one of the observations I've had, they seem to work well together. So I think that's another pulse for me, is just to see the interaction, the collaboration, really good dialogue and really good engagement. So something I would encourage you probably over the next little bit, if that's something going forward, that I don't want to complicate it, but it was more just being there as a presence and disrupting the agenda.
They were all enthused about that?
They seem to be very happy to have us there.
Okay.
So again, I don't want to overplay our welcome, but it's something probably a little bit just they were very appreciative of a very engaged board.
Yeah.
To a T, to every person was, they just are very pleased to see such an engaged board.
Yeah.
So as much as we can continue that, I think it's building an excellent rapport. Stacy did a lot of that, but all your interactions, whether it's going to events, whatever, they love seeing us. So that's probably the biggest feedback I would take from that. I guess I thought Ann was going to be here for the library. Library Foundation. I was not at the last Library Foundation meeting, so can't provide an update on that. I do know that they passed their budget. We did give a check to
I've
the
got a
library. So they got a $10,750 check, I believe is what it was, for their first installment. They'll get another installment in January. We're also looking to sponsor the more capital type intensive projects, renovations. So there's money available to the library to do that. So that's something that the Library Foundation is doing. And I think the Library Foundation is looking to try and get a little more on sponsoring things and looking for sponsorships, grants, but also programs and activities. I think there's probably more driver to try and engage a little bit more on those things. That's my update on that. I'm sure Ann probably had some more, but we'll go from there.
She's in Norway.
Yeah.
Oh,
She is traveling.
Look at her.
Committee reports, finance did not meet. I think we obviously have our mission coming up in the month of September, so I will give Brenda on that. Comms, anything you're meeting next?
Yeah, I've
Thursday,
actually got
yeah.
a couple of things
Okay.
that I wanted to highlight. Pride is September 7th. I'm actually gonna miss it this year, which makes me very sad. But you don't like Pride, I like Pride.
I like Pride, I don't like the parade.
Anyway,
Let's be clear.
point is, this year is the year for us to show up. I say this knowing that I can't show up, because this is the year that all the corporations are like, oh, it's too hard, we don't want to be involved with that, so we need to extra show up. I met with Val from Children's, who is spearheading the staff effort and is gonna try and get more folks out this year. We talked about doing some events leading up so that people who couldn't come to the actual event could like make posters or do different things that would sort of engage the community more. But I just want to let everyone know that it would be excellent if you and as many people as you can bring with you can come September 7th. It's noonish downtown, Stacy.
Have we checked in with Jessie, because for a couple of years she said maybe they would do a t-shirt or something. I don't know if that could still happen.
I don't know, we have the time.
What we talked about when I met with Val was that there was not time for us to get t-shirts,
Okay,
but that she was going to, she has bought a lot of, she and I both have a large collection of rainbow paraphernalia. So she said that she was going to go to her favorite Etsy shop and send some links out, so that if we wanted to, no pressure, but if you didn't have something to wear already, that was something that.
oh, I'm wearing my Reading Rainbow.
I know you
So-
are, but if you didn't.
Just free on Kathy.
There's also, this is the first year that the library is with Fletcher going to have a booth down at the end.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Shauna wants to do that.
Donna
Do the
does.
booth.
Val's looking into swag, so that we can hand out some stuff. But main message is please come.
Okay.
And I'm going to also send a message inviting the foundation and the friends to come, knowing that the terrain of the parade may not be accessible for everyone.
Yeah.
But just welcoming people to participate if they can.
Yeah, I'll forward that on because there's no foundation meeting in August, so
Okay.
I'll forward that.
They could come to the booth area.
They could come to the booth there, they could come to some of the pregame.
Pregame.
Um,
I'm loving the
before.
pregame.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear about the pregame stuff and figure out what her boss is gonna say about that,
I
but
mean, it's something for us all to think about. Is her boss interested in supporting the parade?
not me.
Oh, not you, sorry.
No, I'm really wondering about her time. I mean,
Oh, I see.
yeah, no, I'm, cause when I said, remember you said you would do this, do you still wanna do it? She said, I'm really very busy, I don't know. I'm a little concerned that I don't have enough time, but okay, I'll do it, and.
Oh, but then we met and she got excited.
Of course she does, so, no, I'm, yeah, hopefully Erin knows more about this than I do.
We'll figure it out.
Other thing is, library card sign up month is rapidly approaching, in September. And so I met with Sue, who talked to Rec, and we identified 3 events that would be good opportunities to table and connect with different audiences. So one's a community movie night, one is a community yard sale, and one's a family paint night. So they're all kind of like targeting different, and some there's one at the school, there's one at the senior center, and there's one at JC Park, so all like relatively close. So I will send out the dates for that because we will need tablers. And then we're going to, again, try to do some of the new apartments later in the month.
Excellent.
So more to come on that, but September is shockingly close.
It is,
So,
it's great.
So I'll send out an email with all those dates, and we would love to have people at everything. Excellent.
Also, banned books months, is that still something?
I have no idea.
Oh, she's retiring. She
Yeah,
doesn't
it is September. Unfortunately, everything's, no, maybe it's October, it's definitely in the fall. And book week is October 5th through 11th.
Oh, okay.
So we got a little
thanks.
time. The theme this year, censorship is so 1984, read for your rights.
That's funny.
Okay.
Our little free library in our neighborhood had banned books. So they bought a bunch of banned books, put it out, put a sign. That would be kind of a fun
Is
thing
that
to do.
Duchess? That's
In
our,
little libraries across the,
yeah.
yes. Yeah, I know.
Several in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Design a little something and then we put them up in the road.
Yeah. One of our neighbors definitely goes all out.
Yeah, that's true, it's great.
But ours is not that.
One of the things about Palace that I learned from Rory's presentation afterwards was that there is a national banned books database that if you're 13 and over, anyone from anywhere in the country can sign up and check out banned books. So that is another thing that we want to make sure that if we're doing banned books publicity, that we get the word out.
Yeah, so there's unique libraries within that platform. And
Yeah.
banned books is something that they're populating more and more to make them more accessible. So that is the one that she found, which was really good that we can pick out. So that was on there.
Well, I said, wish we could space these events out.
I know, right?
One other thing I want to mention from Comp Squad, we had been submitting articles to the other paper. And simultaneously, I was on the committee at Foundation that was doing the same thing. And we try to have them at different times, then we get lagged, and then we'd end up submitting at the same time. And we were always like, will they publish? Won't they publish? So I said, depending, let's talk to the newspaper. And so they have now said that we can have once a month have a spot for the library, and it'll be shared between the Foundation, the Friends, and Comp Squad. So I'm meeting next week with Mary and Penny and Penrose, so we can figure out which. So we'll have 4 guaranteed spots throughout the year.
That's awesome.
That's awesome, huh?
Yeah, well done.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
Way to go, squad. All right. Anything else?
That's it.
Yeah, anything for?
We did meet,
Okay.
so.
All right. Sounds good. Last one is strategic plan. I think it's probably time for us to just review it and look through it. So I guess what I'd like to do over the next several months is to take bits and pieces of the strategic plan, take a little time during the session. If you can read it in advance, I'll send out what section we want to talk and kind of just dissect it a little bit, walk through it, make sure it makes sense in its by itself and how it fits together with the entire strategic plan. So I think over the next, if that makes sense to everyone, if any other ideas on how to approach that, I think it'd be good as a regular part of us to try and look at that. Any thoughts on that? All good with that approach?
Yeah.
Okay.
My primary thought is that that the new director is gonna need some time to understand what's happening at the city level. With communications and with AI, and because they have some initiatives and some trainings, and how do we fit into that stuff is not something that's in our current plan, but probably may happen.
I envision this as multiple months.
Oh, of course,
Of looking at it. So I think it's, again, just one, let's read it through, see where it's at, see anything that we think is highlighted, and then we can start trying to identify what we prioritize it and then include that stuff. Okay. That's all I have. Any other business before we go into executive session? Okay, I'd like a motion to go into executive session at 6:46. Anyone like to make that motion?
All right, I'm gonna get stuff off the floors.
Marjorie,
Perfect.
seconded. All good with the executive session?
Wait, don't we know what Jennifer wants?
We know what Jennifer wants.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Glitter.
I
I do want glitter, but no glitter. I talked to Ted,
Okay.
right?
Mhm.
And, yeah,
So, but that's, I understand, that I might not get what I want.
All right, so we're now in executive session. Stop the recording session. I would like to close the meeting at 7:13.
Amazing, thanks,
All right.
Ted.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right,
Good.
I'm gonna text you. James yelled at me for not texting you before the meeting, and I'm like, but I don't want to bother my